One second.
Hopefully she's not gonna want to do this anymore.
Okay, this is good.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight is the July 26th.
Somebody forgot to change
Oh,
the date on it.
the date in, sorry, apologies. So July 26th, 2021, AHRB meeting. We have 4 items on the agenda, out of which the 2 first ones were already reviewed in the prior meeting. And let's start with 69 Landing Drive. And since we already reviewed, you can be brief and have Brandon
Jennifer.
and
I don't want to take something out and, oh, wait, we have to go over here?
yes, just started now.
Yep, and then just click continue.
How are you?
You just kicked up. Did it just kick up?
Yeah, it's right down there.
There we go.
And then you go to Zoom again,
That one?
Yep.
Okay,
and you're gonna share.
share. Desktop and application.
Oh, try application. See if it'll let you open, yeah, the disk. Hey,
All right, just click on that.
you
Oh,
can do
click.
either one.
It just disappeared. There it goes. Click on that.
And the chair.
Share. This is complicated.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, where's the big window? It might feel like July 12th again, a little bit of deja vu. So
Yeah.
anyway, my name is Jonathan Walko with Stephen Tilly Architect. I'm here on behalf of Nancy Seraldo for 69 Landing Drive. And it's a pretty simple project. All we're looking to do is put a 4-foot addition. It's a little slow. 4-foot addition off the back of a deck, an existing deck, and relocate the stairs. It's a middle unit, 1 of 3 down on Landing Drive. And the unit to the east of it has a 4-foot extension already. And we're matching all this details of the adjacent units and pretty cut and dry.
So since Dipti and I already reviewed it, any questions from your side? Okay. No questions. Why don't you, we move to make a motion to approve this as submitted. Do we have a second? 50 seconds, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
The second item on the agenda is 11 Myrtle Avenue, which we already reviewed last time. This is going to be a continuation.
Should I just proceed or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, actually, I gotta, hang on, let me do the
Since
share screen. Exactly, that's what I gotta do.
Greg, since we already are familiar with the project, but Brandon and Dale haven't seen it, so even though it's a continuation, why don't you just show the entire project?
Hello, my name is Greg Sharp. I represent the Munits who are doing a substantial renovation to an existing ranch house. I presented the meeting, the project at the previous AHRB meeting. And I can give a quick run through from the previous presentation, as well as go over some of the points that were addressed at the last meeting during that discussion. So this is the existing house. It's an existing split level ranch. We are planning on keeping the majority of the house within the exact same footprint. And we are just adding an addition to the back, but we are doing a complete reimagination of the existing house, but using mostly its existing footprint. This shows the proposed site plan, which we're adding a new patio to the front. This is the new addition in the rear, and we are connecting a patio to the existing pool that's in the backyard. So we're using a lot of the elements that are part of the existing house, but reimagining it in a more modern and unique fashion. This is the existing house, split level ranch. This is our landscaping plan, which just indicates landscaping and some very basic lighting. Wall types. This is the stretch energy code compliance form, just if anyone is interested in that. This indicates what we're demolishing on the house. So the most of the demolition is on the interior and the roof. This is our revised basement plan, which indicates just some existing basement spaces as well as a new entry sequence. And this is our main floor plan. So we are maintaining the existing entrance into the house. We have a bedroom wing on this upper section above the garage. We then have a living room off to the right side with access onto this patio. We have a master bedroom suite off of the right side. And we have a new great family room incorporating with the kitchen and a patio off of the backyard. This is just a roof plan showing what we're doing. These are the elevations showing our reimagination of a classic Dobbs Ferry Ranch style home that was originally built in the 60s. This is also just showing some of the elevations, some of the sections through the house. And this indicates just some various renderings showing the concepts of the house and what we're trying to achieve architecturally with this. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to help. It's not working. Okay, let me see. But we can zoom in on each space. Maybe that's a better way to do it. So we're creating a modern language with the house. This is the existing garage element that's currently covered with a brick. We're changing that to a limestone. We're creating a clear story glass element with the beds, but the overhangs and the architectural features are roughly within the same proportions as existing houses, just to complete different imagination of what we're doing. This would be the side. So we have some natural stone. We have some steel and glass. We have some wood screening. We have some metal roofing going on. The rear of the house, this is the master bedroom wing that has a nice fireplace that centers this facade. This is this element that we're building onto the back, which is basically a wood roof, an exposed beam roof that's going to be off the rear with a glass and steel frame. This is going to create the great room, and we're going to have some very lovely glass doors. That's going to really create an inside-outside effect for that room. And this shows just the existing rear facade with the pool and the wood roof coming off of it. This indicates some of the material choices that we have, utilizing some of the existing conditions. This image shows some of the wood screening that I've used before on various projects. This shows the materiality of the project, which is some beautiful natural cedar beams, blackened metal steel with glass, metal roofing, limestone as an element, some various stucco. We have a reflected ceiling plan just so you can get an indication that the idea is to have this exposed roof in the back. And then I have some details that have been updated. So we're going to switch to this set. And we just have some, construction sections just indicating the assemblies that we're looking to provide and how we're going to, achieve some of these looks while still maintaining energy compliance. It's just some basic detailing. At this time, I'd like to open it up to any questions or any comments that the board would like to have.
Greg. Since we already seen it last time, I'd like to invite Brendan and Dale to. I like to hear them first.
Sure. Okay. I think it's a great reimagination of the house. It really is a definite improvement in many ways, and I think you've selected some beautiful materials to work with. The planning on the inside looks great. So,
Brendan,
Good. Thank you.
Brendan,
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I think I was wondering a little bit contextually, but it's set back. So was just wondering if it was in context with some of the other neighbors and things, but it's really on its own, right?
It's in like a private flag lot.
Yeah.
Enclave, and it's surrounded by other sort of unique homes, various eras. And I think, the neighbors have accepted it. I think it's a nice addition, nice project. It's a 1960s framed up ranch house. That's pretty much, 2x4 construction. It's, it's ready to be redone, non-energy efficient windows, things like that. So it's obviously their client's going to make a significant investment and do it right and try to make it as beautiful as possible. And that's what I try to strive to happen, is to have it be as successful as possible. So
Yeah, it looks like a dramatic improvement. So I said it looks to be a dramatic improvement.
thank you.
So I don't have any criticism.
Neighbors.
we have some neighbors. We have some neighbors.
No?
No.
No, bravo. It's very interesting. I love it.
Thank you.
So,
He's not a neighbor though.
just to wrap up, thank you for the additional information. I think it's, I know we spoke about context. I think this house is perfectly contextual. I don't see the need to hide it or feel bad about that it's visible or not, because it's a great improvement to what exists, and it's going to be a good addition to the neighborhood. So in that said, unless there is any other issues, like in terms of the lighting package, I guess you will comply with the code for the lighting code regulations. I don't see the note, but you will comply. Make sure that
Yeah.
John. I don't see the lighting package either. So
There is something,
there is.
There's a schedule.
Is a schedule?
Yeah.
For exterior lighting?
For decorative.
They had reviewed that at the
there's a lighting
planning
schedule.
board, and they had sort of said it was fine. It was
Okay.
just, we had added some
Fine.
lights and
But I
so.
don't know if the notice there.
The notes.
Yeah, I guess you can,
You need to put that note on that
Yeah,
it
I
needs to
guess.
comply.
I'm sorry, what?
There's a Dobbs Ferry code.
Yeah.
So we need the note that states that you comply with that, and I.
Oh, okay, yeah.
don't remember
All
what
of the
you-
notes and things that I have to add for the permitting, it's like there's a lot of things that have to get into the permitting process, so I think that's John's job is he's gonna make sure that all those sort of code-related comments and things are addressed and put in the final set of documents, so after this, that'll be our next procedure would be the permitting process.
okay, so with that said, I make a motion to approve this application as submitted.
Second.
Provided that John verifies the lighting compliance.
Yes, we will, I hear.
Okay, thank you, John. I couldn't see you. So do I have a second?
Second.
10 seconds, all in favor?
Good luck.
Thank you, good luck.
Good luck.
Great.
So the next item on the agenda is 420.
It's thankful that
Broadway.
timber's coming down.
That's a signage for Chestnut. Do we have an applicant? Jen?
If anybody's here for 420 Broadway, can you please raise your hand?
She should be joining by Zoom.
Do you know what her name is?
Nancy?
Nancy? Yeah, I have her. Nancy, can you hear us? Nancy?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear us?
Hello? I am here.
Hi, Nancy.
Can you hear us?
I'm not on mute. Hello?
Can you hear us?
Can you
talk?
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
You can't hear them either. We can hear you,
Hello?
Nancy.
No, I don't.
You send her a chat.
This, 1 second, this is about 420 Chestnut, right?
420
It's
Broadway.
the sign.
Can you present for her application? Just put it-
Hello?
Nancy, can you hear us?
Christine L. to everyone. We can hear you, Nancy.
I'm gonna pull her.
Yeah, just why don't you show it?
Yeah.
It's a very straightforward application.
That's it, right?
Just,
Yeah.
yes.
That's the one on the corner over there.
Same
West
operator.
Orange, yeah. See, from-
Yes, yes.
It looks nice.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
Like page 12 is where the graphics start, I think.
Mhm.
John, all the graphics are compliant in terms of code.
The only thing that's not, I hear, is there's one wall behind the cash register that is a full, like window screening, but it was like that before. And all you would see is the back of a person through that window and shelving units. So the front is in compliance.
So you're saying on
Which
sheet
side?
number 11, there's existing graphic
These
film
graphics aren't-
that blocks that.
And, keep going, you'll see the next,
That's it.
see that side right there.
And that's staying?
See those two windows? They're gonna stay.
It's kind of
But
unfortunate.
right behind there is shelving units
Right.
and the cash register, so.
But if I understand correctly, we are now reviewing the Chestnut on the
The band.
Sign.
the new band on top,
Yeah, the band and the
band on the front, and then the band on
freestanding
the
sign.
shell sign.
The band and the shell sign looks fine.
Yeah.
They just altered the location.
Okay, so let's review what's in front of us and we can make a general comment.
I don't see a problem.
Sorry, I think keeps unmuting yourself.
All right, so any comments, Brandon?
I don't have any comments on the Chestnut Market signs nor the main pylon sign that comes. I do think it's unfortunate that there's marketing material on the windows as it's not compliant. So I would strongly recommend, and I'll leave to your discretion on whether it could be conditional to the approval, but I think an opaque film would be just as good there and serve the same purpose without marketing. Because I do think it's unfortunate that would remain.
Agreed. So Taylor agrees. I'm of the opinion that the Chestnut banner or band and the pylon are an improvement to what it is. So kind of, I wouldn't
No,
subject improvement to correcting, a signage that is not presented to us. That's so on that end, I will move to recommend the Chestnut in front
Hello?
of the signage that is in front of us. But what's your opinion, Dick?
Oh, I have no problem with the sign. The sign looks fine to me.
All right, so I'll make a recommendation to approve the signage that is proposed to us with a strong recommendation to improve the existing sign that is not being proposed. That's basically it. So I'll move to approve this application. Go ahead, second.
Second.
10 seconds. Okay, thank you. And the next item on the agenda is 49 Clinton Avenue. Master School.
Let's see how I do with the technology. If you need my help, I'm here.
Thank you.
While I'm doing this, Jennifer Olson is also going to be joining us via Zoom.
Yes.
If it's possible to allow her. Jennifer, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Great.
Should I share the application or the desktop?
Either, I think it'll pop up on either one.
There we go. You see that? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So good evening. My name is Alyssa So. I'm a partner at Marvel, and I'm also here with Jennifer Olson, a director at Marvel, who's a project manager on the project. Jennifer, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Jennifer Olson, director at Marvel.
And we're also here with Ed Biddle, the CFO of the Master School. And Jennifer and I are here on behalf of the Master School to present to you the proposed design for the new Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center on the Master's campus. This is a new ground-up building that we've been working on with the Master School to really support their innovation and entrepreneurship program. It's a program that's been growing over the last number of years, and this will really be dedicated space for that program. So just to jump in, this is showing the overall site of the Master's campus. Our site for the proposed building, it sits really more at the northern side of campus. To zoom in a little bit closer, the orange outline is the proposed building. This is sitting really in between what is Esterwood Mansion and Morris Hall, and adjacent to the middle school building. And really, we cited the building here because we wanted to have an extension of the existing quad. Right now, the quad sits between Masters Hall and Morris Hall with the dining hall at the south side of the quad. And we are wanting that quad to extend north all the way to Esterwood Mansion. And so we've cited the building to the east of that quad, really in line with Morris Hall. This is showing a cross-section across campus from Clinton down to Esterwood Avenue. And you can see there's quite a drastic slope from the campus down to Esterwood Avenue, and a lot of trees and heavy vegetation. So there really won't be much of a view from the neighbors on Esterwood up to the proposed building. Here showing the site plan and landscape plan. As well as having the slope going east-west across the campus, there's also a slope going from north to south, with the higher portion being at the south side of the site towards the existing quad. So when you're entering the building from the quad side or the Masters Hall side, the building will present as a two-story building. And then when you're coming from the other side towards Esterwood Mansion, the building will be a three-story structure. We are extending pathways along both sides of the building. You can come here and enter this side of the building from this, what we're calling the upper terrace, and that will put you at really a second level. And then you can walk on this pathway down to what we're calling the lower terrace and enter on that side of the building as well. There are a number of existing trees that exist on the site right now, and we'll be trying to maintain as many of those trees as we can, and that will really be a buffer between the new building and the middle school, as well as a lot of new planting vegetation surrounding the building. So here you're seeing the west and the east elevation. This is that upper terrace, like I said, where the building really is two stories as you're entering that side. The main body of the building is a natural zinc, a standing seam that is really the majority of the wall, and then the roof is the same material. As you're looking at the east elevation, again, the majority of the building is that zinc, but at the bottom, really the base of the building, we're doing cast in place board form concrete, which will really surround that kind of north and east side face of the building. All of the windows are a black anodized curtain wall system. And so that's consistent with all of the windows and the doors throughout the building. Continuing to the south and the north, again, the south is your approach from the majority of the campus, entering just to the left side. That's that main entrance there. And there is a small canopy at that entrance as well. And then on the north elevation, the three-story structure with the board form concrete at the base and the zinc above. So here, just showing the proposed materials, all of which I've just mentioned, primary material being that natural zinc. It will go in its natural form, but then it will patina over time and begin to darken a bit. We are showing a series of concrete pavers for those upper and lower terraces. Again, the black anodized aluminum for the curtain wall. And then we are exploring, we're doing bird safe glass. So we're looking at a UV coating, but as an alternate, we're looking at a proposed frit. The white oak is really just at those canopies at the terraces. So here are just a couple examples of what the zinc cladding will look like on day one. It'll be kind of bright and shinier, and then over time it will begin to darken. And then here's a couple images of the board form concrete. This is actually one of our projects that we built for a theater building. And we really worked with the contractor to make sure that we're we're really pulling out the grain of the wood so that you're really getting that materiality in there. And then just showing so a few of the other buildings that are directly surrounding. You know, we really wanted to work with materials and the form of the building that were really in keeping with the existing buildings on site, but that were perhaps more of a modern interpretation, but very complementary to what was there. Just sharing with you a couple of the details that are in our package. This looking at where the roof and the wall come together, you know, we're doing quite a minimal detail with an integral concealed gutter. And then, you know, just showing a bit of a foundation detail. And then moving on to where you're transitioning from that zinc wall, having a recessed window, and then transitioning to that board form concrete at the base. And then the roof ridge detail we wanted to share just to show that we have a quite minimal detail for the cap at the ridge as well. And then finally, just ending with an image of the building. This is really standing in front of the, kind of in between Esther Wood, kind of in front of the carriage house, looking back up the building towards Master Hall, with the kind of lower terrace in the foreground. So with that, we'd love to answer any of your questions. We also brought a bunch of material samples too, if there's any of the materials that you're curious to see.
Thank you. It's
Thank you.
a lot to digest, and that's a very elegant presentation, so it's clear. I guess we have neighbors. You're welcome to, before we engage in the conversation, you're welcome to, if you have some comments or questions, you're welcome to.
Now
Please, let's do it.
or after your.
You can comment now, and then you can join us after. It's a conversation.
I'd rather hear what you have to say.
Okay, fair enough.
New material, Sam?
We do.
That's exciting.
They have a whole box.
You have the same.
Yeah, so that's kind of the shiny,
That's new.
when it'll be new, and then it gets a little bit older, and then that's the window.
Cool. And then the treatment of the wall at the bottom is going to be the lumber impressed into the concrete.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to,
Yeah.
let's show it to the guys. You need some help bringing this up over?
Those are the important ones. I think the,
Yep. Very familiar with it. Very nice.
it was hard to bring the board form concrete.
Are you going to
Yeah.
add any color to the board form concrete? Are you going to stain it at all, or is it just going to be natural?
It's going to be natural. Yeah. It's going to be natural. You know, there's a lot of the buildings on campus have a stone base, you know, kind of a natural stone base. We thought about that, and we just felt like the board form concrete could be a really interesting kind of again, a modern interpretation of that stone base. So doing it more natural, not staining it or giving it any color.
Brandon?
I mean, I like the poured concrete base, executing it with the forms and getting that wood grain is nice. I haven't seen it a lot in a lot of different areas, but it's definitely hard to execute. So
It is.
from a quality control standpoint, I think that's definitely something to manage, but I like the building a lot. I think as an innovation center, it should be a little bit more contemporary in its form in on campus. And I really think it's a beautiful building that's well conceived. So
Thank you.
I think when you put it in the context in the final shot where you show it in relationship to the other buildings on the campus, it sits in very well.
Right.
And it is a challenge doing an innovation center in a very traditional campus. So I think you've managed to pick up on the forms and the shapes and the coloration in ways that are very thoughtful and meaningful. And I think it does a good job. I'm concerned about the concrete issue also, only because I've seen in my own practice issues with controlling the coloration and the pores and making sure that it doesn't end up too green looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The image that I showed was, it's a theater building that we actually did out in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And we worked with Reg Huff, who's a concrete specialist, who's somebody who we've been working with for 20 years now. I've
Okay.
done a number of buildings with his consultation. And it has advised masters to bring him in, now that
Okay.
we're going in this direction. So, we recognize it's a particular thing, and you need to get it right. So, we're very sensitive to that and are going to make sure it's done right.
It almost looks like reclaimed wood and used as formwork, right? Which is hard to.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed personally to just concrete with really, when they take care and how it's formed and executed, I think it can look really nice as a non-pattern look as well. So I wouldn't be opposed to that either personally, just because it would be easier to execute in my opinion. But yeah.
I think the materials are beautiful and you've done a great job with siting the building. I like the connection that you showed with the courtyard. I did originally have some reservations with the proportion of the building. There might have been constraints with it, but once you showed the building in context with the rest of them, I think it's a great project.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, for some reason, everybody started with materials and I guess we are in agreement with the materials that they're great choices. The concrete is fine. So I guess it's going to be responsible use of the concrete. And the general feel of the building it's a good choice. However, this is where I'm not 100% sold, which is for some reason, let's say if I go to the section,
Sure.
the long section, that's fine. When you put that, maybe it's the section, but the building looks bigger than Esterwood.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
And Jen's smiling because I do think exactly where we've cut the section, I think they're about the same height. And I think this section is actually a little bit deceiving.
Right.
Yeah,
But,
and that's a fair.
but that's
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
a perception, and it's not real. So for that argument, I would like to think more about the building. There is another trick that is happening, that is these long windows also creates a kind of false proportional system and makes the building look larger than it is. And I understand the building, let's say the windows. If you go to the last view, the last rendering, I understand the long windows where you have the plane and you see the interior, the volume, that works. But when they're in the facade, they create like a cathedral feeling that takes the building out of proportion compared to Westerwood. And that's something that I would like to verify, if the choice of the elongated windows, not on the
Not on the longitudinal view, on the side view, right?
Not on this, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. That was
This
a
one?
reservation that I had too.
Or this
Yep.
one.
Right. On this elevation, I have a problem. On the front elevation, I don't, because it's about the plane and the interior and the space, et cetera, and how it flows. And the idea that you have the two volumes and you disjoint and just connect, and that's also, it's a good concept, but when you put it next to Esterwood, kind of looks bigger than it is.
We did, we submitted to SHPO as well, and we had this, we had a great conversation with them, and because of its proximity to Esterwood and it being a historic structure, and they were quite positive and felt like it was appropriate, and they gave us a letter of no adverse effect.
I mean,
No, all I'm saying is probably it's not, but it's something that unfortunately, I reviewed this application yesterday. And I would like to go to the site and walk the site and see.
Sure.
I think that's a good
See it with the plans.
Sure.
And then maybe a misperception.
We did walk the site. Jennifer was there with the planning board
Mhm.
and did the same thing. And, you know, they were quite positive as well and felt like it was appropriate. So I think that's a great idea, you know, you really to
If
be
you
there.
suppo- If you don't mind, and if you support my motion to walk the site with you, I
Sure,
would much
sure.
prefer it. But it's for me to, Estonwood it's one of the jewels of Top Sphere.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think that we should be careful when we, in the review of a new proposal, which is very next to Estonwood.
Yeah. And we did, you can imagine, we did a number of facade studies
No, I
throughout.
understand.
you
Look,
know.
I'm very tempted to, it's a nice presentation. It's a nice building. It's a nice, but the location is, now, if we go to the discussion before, now there is a lot of context. And the context is important
It is,
in this case.
absolutely.
I'd like to interject one thing. I'm hearing myself echo. Are you guys hearing that?
We hear you perfectly.
No, you sound fine.
Okay, I'll just keep talking then. On that north end of the building, between our building and Esterwood, we do have kind of quite a landscaped garden. And then those rectangular white boxes that you see scattered around are granite benches. And so our hope is that we really give a beautiful garden at the end of our building and really give moments of reflection to be able to sit there and face Esterwood Mansion specifically.
Mhm.
And so I also would say that I don't know the actual height of Esterwood Mansion. We will figure it out. But I can say that we're well below the 50-foot zoning requirement of the E1 district.
Mhm, mhm.
But I think providing a section showing the exact location of our building in
Yeah.
relation.
Yeah, we can
The grade
certainly do
change
that.
helps. The
Hmm?
grade change of it helps as well, right,
Mhm.
as you transition up. So I think a sidewalk
There is, yeah.
will help.
Yeah, the grade change is 14 feet because we're essentially tucking the building in one whole story into the side of the slope. So it's pretty dramatic.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think it will be a pleasure to host this site with you guys and or anybody or
Yeah,
myself.
we'd be
with the
happy
plans.
to,
We'll have to
Jen.
schedule a walkthrough, convene the weekend. And,
Absolutely. We'd love to walk the site.
make
with you.
sure that we are in the right path.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
You actually voiced the reservation that I had very nicely. Thank you.
okay, so anything to say,
Yeah,
please?
I have a question. In the presentation.
First of all, you have to introduce yourself and do the.
I'm James Kybird. I'm at 70 Clinton. And one of the slides is presented as a line. Access line, is that what it is?
Back for you?
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
that plan?
Yeah, there it is. C'est moi, I'm forced to admit. Right there. 700. One of the slides in the presentation on the web there were views from the building, and the slide that was the view towards Clinton was wiped out. Do you know why that is?
No, Jennifer, do you know?
I do not. No, I do not. And in fact, I think they're in this presentation tonight. Yeah. And not wiped out. Yeah.
You're talking about these?
These are the only ones we've ever done.
These are just views looking out from the location.
But what's your concern?
Okay. Do it with thy might is the motto of the Master's School. Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. I am so excited about this project. It might be the most important building in the Northeast, given its possible inspiration and structuring of young minds. I have literally had sleepless nights dreaming about this incredible opportunity that Masters might be creating for itself and the possible legacy this focus on innovation and entrepreneurship might leverage for its students and ultimately through them for our world. What it is called Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center, where it is located at the apex of the quad, striking a glancing aspect to Esterwood, it has such huge potential to create an architectural historical dialogue with a hodgepodge of buildings that on that core quad of the school. Given its critical location, the building should engage, enhance, inform, and dare I say it, inspire the Masters community like no other structure on that property, which I think it's starting to come close to. At that location, it becomes the veriest physical keystone of Masters' future. Does this embody do it with thy might, the school's motto? Does the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center move boldly face into the future with examples of technology enabling a sustainable future? Geothermal, solar, spaces of community engagement, exhibiting and demonstrating new forms of communication, an architecture of imagination that references the disparate quadrangle in an innovative and entrepreneurial reach into the future. Tonight, I feel I see that the building has much more nerve than I've seen on the website, which is good. The building should be an adventure of innovation and entrepreneurship. For as long as I live in Dobbs, I will be walking out of my front door in the early AM from my quirky Queen Anne remodeled American shingle style Victorian and looking out on a structure that I hope will inspire innovation and entrepreneurship at that early morning moment and for generations to come. I'm the only person my wife and I beg your pardon, are the only people that are going to wake up to that building every morning from that side of the street. I love the long windows. I love them. I think it's going to really be interesting when you see Esterwood reflected in those windows. Those windows are going to be reflecting the less than fabulous architecture surrounding it. And it's going to be really interesting, and it's going to create context for that. This building might really solve a problem of the architecture that's on that quad. It resonates the shapes of the main building. It resonates the shapes of the eating hall at the end of the quad. And Esterwood is a You described it as a gem in Dobbs Ferry? It's one of the worst looking Hudson River mansions I've ever seen. This will make it interesting to look at through the windows. I would like it, I would love to encourage you to get bolder and a little more adventurous in the building. I think it needs to create focus that resonates the architecture around it. I think it should be a little more ambitious. What I'm seeing here is it looks like it resonates the main building in its shape and the art in the architecture in the eaves. But I think it needs to have a little more hope in what it's trying to do. I think it should answer Esterwood. That guy invented the baling clip, the guy who built that building. We're in a different place from baling cotton right now. We're on the edge of something new, perhaps. So I would love this building to bring us there. If it could be, and I would love it to be geothermal or solar, something that inspires the entrepreneurship and the adventure and innovation that we need to see in America and that the kids need to see. They need to see a building that will inspire them in the future. And I think kids are going to come from around the world because of this building. If it has the je ne sais quoi that I'm talking about, which I'm not able to articulate.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So
You can come to my bedroom and look at it.
definitely, thank you. Thank you, James. So I move to continue this application and looking forward to have a walkthrough at the site and discuss it further. Make sense? All right, so you can talk to the John, the building inspector, to schedule a walkthrough. We can circulate an email and coordinate it.
Give us a couple of options because I'd like to be there too. So
It's perfect.
good job.
Okay.
Nice presentation.
Nice presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you
And,
very much.
Do I have a second to continue this application? Then second, all in favor, thank you. And I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I'll make the second.
Yeah. Brendan seconds, all in favor. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.